Welcome back to my channel. It's a very fun filming day. We're gonna talk about how I got my first Birkin. And she's sitting over there. That's Billy. Billy the Birkin 30 in Togo leather, color gold with palladium hardware. I got her in June of 2021. And I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna spill the whole tea about what led to me being offered that bag. And since we're spilling tea, I do sometimes drink tea, but I am about to go out to dinner, so I thought perhaps we could drink some wine. And I don't know, grab some coffee, grab tea, hydrate, whatever you need, but I thought it'd be fun to just kind of give you the whole unfiltered story, since I know everybody is just trying to crack the code about how to get a Birkin. And honestly, I feel like trying to get a Birkin is almost like the adult version of Pokemon cards. It's like, what are you gonna get? Who knows? Can you catch them all? And I used to love those things when I was a kid, you know, trying to collect the Pikachus, or going to Burger King when they had those toys in the Happy Meals and you were like, what am I gonna get? I feel like this is the very luxe adult version of that, so I'm here for it. Come on back, hit me with a like or subscribe if you're feeling charitable today, but it's just fun to be sort of telling the story to people who care. My friends are all not Hermes lovers, and I'm like, oh my god, I got a Birkin offer, and they're like, we don't, what is that? So it's great to be sharing with people who also are into it. Time to get down to business. So I started my Hermes journey in February of 2021. I had watched about 100 YouTube videos, much like this one, about how did I get my first Birkin? I don't even know how I stumbled upon the first one, but once I watched a few of them, I was like, I want that bag. The first time I ever saw a Birkin was in Gilmore Girls, when Logan got Rory a Birkin, and I was like, I don't know what that is, and it looks like, why is there no cross body strap? I didn't appreciate, but my taste has developed over the years, and now this is the epitome of class, obviously. So I wanted it. I watched, I took notes, I listened to everyone's thoughts, and by the way, it's the internet has a wealth of advice about what does Hermes think, how do you get offered, what have you. So stay tuned, and as I continue my Hermes journey, I'll be dropping some knowledge about, you know, what is sort of just hyped up on the internet and what is real fact. So anyway, I went in. I shop at the Rodeo location in Los Angeles, well, Beverly Hills. And pro tip, if you're gonna shop in LA, one, the store is very busy. There's a lot of celebs, a lot of high profile, rich clients that are like, I wanna come in, I wanna get my stuff. So if you don't want to sit in the line that wraps around the corner of Rodeo Drive, make an appointment. When I started my journey, you could make an appointment, but you had to call. An associate would call you back, and then they would agree upon a time for you to come in. Now, it has advanced to the point where you can just make an appointment online and pick who you're going with, or you can say, assign me someone. So do that. You enter in the back, you don't have to wait in the line. It's the move, and ultimately garners you more respect right off the bat, because I feel a lot of times the line is a little bit aggressive, truly. People are not playing in that line. They want things, they want it now. My current SA was telling me people come into that line, even if they're very, you know, very much trying to spend money, they come because they want things now, which is just not the Hermes model, right? It's you go in and it's most of the things you want in the moment, they probably don't have, unless you have told your SA, can we order this? Can we do something else? Will this be coming in store? Can you tell me when it comes in? So it's there is no instant gratification with Hermes, which I love, right? It kind of bucks the trend of I want it now. So you really think about what you want. But anyway, so I went in, met my associate. I came in for some Apple Watch bands and some shoes, and I wanted to take a little gander at some ready-to-wear stuff. We went in, I got 2 Apple Watch bands, a pair of shoes, and I was having a lovely time with my associate. And at the end, as he was bringing me up, I was like, hey, utter the words that we all are like just itching to utter. I was like, hey, can I start my wish list for a bag? Because as I did my research, it's like, you don't want to be like, do you have any Birkins or Kellys? It's like, you want to say, can I start my wish list, right? Because one, it says, I've done my research, I understand how the system works. Two, it's not presumptuous, because truly, if you were to ask, short of you buying something that is like $100,000 piece of jewelry, they're probably gonna say, we don't have anything. If you buy a huge piece of something at a store and then ask for a Birkin, they will generally be like, we're gonna have to find this person something. But even then, it might not be what you want, right? So I asked, can I start my wish list? And my sales associate, who I had been like really vibing with, was like, sure, tell me the colors you're into, what are you looking for? And I mentioned, I love a bright red. Talked about Birkins, Kellys, what sizes, whatever, and he was like, how do you feel about the Constance? He also called it the Constance, not a Constance, okay? I don't know if that's like just an LA rodeo location thing, but they all say Constance. Take that as you will, but that is how I will pronounce it henceforth. He's like, how do you feel about the Constance? And I was like, love her. So he rang up my purchases, which were about $3K. And then he was like, just hang tight for a second, and he disappeared into the back. I'm waiting for like maybe 5 or 10 minutes, just like chilling. He pops out of the other side of the wall of like a secret room. That's what I love about designer stores too. It's like all of the like secret back storage areas. It's like someone pops out of the wall one way, comes out another way. It's very fun. It's very like, you know, like secret mansion. So he pops his head out of the wall and he just goes, holding a giant box. I follow him into a private room. As I am walking to said private room, someone else in the showroom goes to their sales associate, hey, I'm looking for a Constance. Do you have one? And the sales associate was like, yeah, sorry, we don't have any of those. We're all out. We go into the private room. He draws the curtains, slowly unboxes a beautiful red Constance Rouge Casaque, I don't know how you say it. It's like the like very, very bright red, like Christmas red Constance with palladium hardware. And he was like, what do you think? And I was like, I'll take her. So we went to the register. He had like, you know, wrapped her up, whatever. And that is how, on my first visit to Hermes, I got offered a Trinity bag. And I'll tell you, it's truly just because I was so not presumptuous, so not demanding and nice. And now, being extremely good friends with that sales associate who no longer works for Hermes, but is now like a dear, dear friend, we've talked about it, and he's like, yeah, you were just like, I just like had a nice time with you. And I was like, let's see if we can get her back. So it was so much fun. I know that the Constance is like maybe harder to get in certain areas. I don't know how much of like a fluke it was that I got mine on the first attempt. But that day, all in all, I think I spent about $14,000, Constance included. And for those of you who don't know, like the Constance is almost Birkin pricing. It's expensive. 10K, 9K plus tax. And I just think it was such, you know, you watch these videos about like people getting offered a bag on their first try, and like I was so going in with that in mind to like do it. And it was so cool, it was so fun. But anyway, the Constance was great, but like the eye on the prize was still very focused. So I was like, okay, what's next, right? So I go home and I like panic about how much money I spent and think to myself, oh my gosh, that was the most I had ever spent on a bag. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even a bag I went in looking for. But beautiful craftsmanship, just like absolutely iconic and stunning. And then 2 weeks later, I hit my sales associate up again. I was like, hey, I want to come in for a belt. There's like some ready to wear pieces I saw that I'd like to try on. I go in on a Saturday, buy a few things, probably about $5K. So now we're hitting around $20,000 worth of things. And it was a lovely experience. At the end, I said to my SA, or actually in the middle, I said, of the shopping experience, I was like, I know we talked about my wish list last time. You gave me the Constance. Can I reiterate what I'd like for a Birkin or Kelly? And he was like, sure. Just to be perfectly honest with you, it takes a long time, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, fine, fine, fine. But he took my thoughts. I was like, I want a Birkin 30, gold cray or rouge H. Those were my like top choices at the time. And, you know, I listed the leathers I was comfortable with, hardware choices, what have you. He's like, okay, okay. So I finished my shopping trip, and then at the end, as I am being walked out, he says to me, can you actually email me your wish list? I just want to make sure like I have everything correct. And I'm like, okay, great sign. So I email him as soon as I step out of the store. Don't hear from him again for about 2 or 3 weeks, and he calls me and he says, hey, the store is having a special event for ready to wear. Would you like to come? Sorry, I don't know what happened. My camera stopped recording. So my sales associate called me, said, do you want to come to a ready to wear event? The store is open on a Sunday. And I was like, sure. So I go in. The ready to wear event was very chaotic. There were live models walking around in fall 2021 fashions, but none of it was available to try on or order yet. So it was kind of like a weird, I found some stuff, it was fine. I think I spent $2,000, so not a lot. That puts my total spend around $22,000, including the Constance, remember? And had a lovely time with my SA, and then I left. And I thought, okay, like, it's great, he's inviting me to things, that's cool. 2 days later, I get a call. The call was, he said to me, do you have 2 minutes to talk? And I was like, yeah. And he said, I have a bag for you. Cue like angel choir singing, like heart drops, all of it. And he says to me, I have 2 bags, but I'm gonna need you to explain like which one you want now, because it will be like a free-for-all essentially unless you pick one. So he says, I have a Birkin 30 in Epsom with gold hardware, gold, or another gold Birkin 30 with palladium hardware in Togo. I was like, oh, difficult choices. He said, you have to pick one now so that I can release the other one, essentially. So I chose the Togo version, and so I picked it. He held it for me while I couldn't come in for like a week, I want to say. So anyway, I get to the store. He unboxes this beautiful, beautiful bag. I mean, can you even? Ooh! She's the perfect size. You can really like, you know, like I can shove my whole arm through here. 30 is the size you want when you want to put stuff in it, put it in the crook of your arm. A 25 is lovely, a Cellier is lovely, but this is truly like, I feel like an iconic selection. I'm so happy I went with her. But anyway, so I went in. He took me to a private room. We unboxed, as I'm sure you have all done or seen. And that was that. So all in all, when you take the Constance out, I probably spent around 10K, which is a 1-to-1 ratio. Different métiers. And it took about 3 months total from first visit ever to being offered. I don't know that this is typical, but it was at a very busy store. Like the Rodeo store is not short for clients. So I am confident in saying if you go in being a good person and not being demanding and just stating what you'd like and appreciating the brand, shopping every now and then. Like I shopped I shopped 3 times in 2 months essentially. And that was what resulted in this. So I think like that's a good place to start to get a quota bag. I know everyone's not gonna be offered one to begin with because the stock situation is not great. However, I will say that you never know, right? Like I got a Constance on my first try and it's not like I did anything special. So I've got more tea to spill because the SA that gave me this then went to another company. We are now best friends and I have a new SA and I'm on like part 2 of the Hermes journey and I'm trying to get my first Kelly currently. So I've got an Hermes unboxing on my channel now that's pretty recent if you want to check that out. And I will be back soon, hopefully, with another quota bag unboxing. But regardless, I will continue the Hermes journey video in a part 2 post first essay and like how I navigated that whole thing of like when you switch, someone leaves. And also, I've been getting a few questions about random Hermes things. So send me your stuff. Send me your questions so I can put together a little Q&A about just to debunk some rumors and be able to tell you in my experience and also in chatting with my good friends sort of like what your like do's and don'ts are, because I do have a good idea of that. Thank you so much for coming and watching my videos. I hope you didn't mind sweet baby Seamus being here or the angles changing or the small doggy sounds. But it was so nice to spill some tea and catch up with you all. I will see you soon. Enjoy the Birkin videos. Happy Hermes hunting and have a great day. Bye.